Well, hello all. Today we are going to discuss about the permanent adjustments of the dumpy level. Last time we had the discussion about various parts of the instrument, their individual functions, the various axes of dumpy level and their relationships. What happens as we discuss about the temporary adjustments? Temporary, as the name indicates, those are to be temporary, are to be done by the surveyor at every instrument position. And those comprises of three steps. One is called fixing, another is called leveling, and the third one is called removing of parallax. That we had a discussion what those individual are. Even we had a discussion about what are the different axes of dumpy level. So if we talk today, even as I said, this is going to be a telescope with this as the diaphragm. This one is the eyepiece. This is object glass, or we can say even objective. But we are interested with the axes. So more correctly, when I say it is a line joining center of eyepiece to the center of object glass is called axis of telescope. A line joining center of eyepiece, center of diaphragm, center of object glass and its imaginary continuation is called as line of collimation. It is also called line of sight. They must be collinear. That is what the relationship between them. Another axis, the axis about which telescope can be rotated in the horizontal plane is called as vertical axis. Vertical axis. Now if you see the relationship between the vertical axis and axis of telescope, they must be perpendicular to each other. They should be at 90 degrees. And there is a bubble tube with a bubble at the center. Bubble is a curved shape. So we can draw number of tangents. But the particular tangent, of course, the tangent which is horizontal and tangent to the curvature of the bubble in the bubble tube. So such a horizontal tangent is called as bubble axis. Axis of bubble tube. All these names pertains to that. And if you see the relationship of axis of telescope with the bubble axis, they must be parallel. Have you noted one thing, that all the relationships amongst these all four encircle lines, those are with axis of telescope. That axis of telescope must be perpendicular to vertical axis. See? Axis of telescope must be collinear with the line of sight. And axis of telescope must be parallel to bubble axis. This is what we ended last time. The basic thing is, if all these three relationships are correct, then we can say the instrument is very correct and can be used for the work. But if there is something happens to these relationships that they are not hold good, then there is a need of permanent adjustments to be done. Of course, whether there is a need of this or not can be again checked by the surveyor. So there are three adjustments we are going to see today. The first one is called as adjustment of bubble tube. Adjustment of bubble tube, wherein we are going to check whether our vertical axis is perpendicular to bubble axis. So this is the relationship we are going to check. So this adjustment is called bubble tube. Now how it is to be checked? See, I told you after leveling we are doing with 3-foot screws. How you are doing? First of all, we are bringing all the 3 screws at the center of their run. So this is first, second and third foot screw. They are at the center of their run so that you will have equal margin to go up and go down. Let us put the telescope Of course, here it will be bubble tube parallel to one of the pair, either 1, 2, 1, 3 or 2, 3. Say I have selected 1, 2. Then I will bring the bubble at the center using these two screws, which will be rotated at the same time inward or same time outward. But one restriction is there. When it is inward, both will be by the same amount. When it is outward, both should be again by the same amount. Let us bring the bubble at the center. Next step over there will be again keep the bubble tube perpendicular to its earlier position. So isko perpendicular aa gaya. Now check whether the bubble is at the center. If not, bring it at the center by rotating the third foot screw. Here we were operating first and second. Here we are operating the third one. Usually there is one more notation. When I do this, see the thumb of the left hand decide the direction. If I want to take the bubble to my right, it will be inward. When I take bubble towards left, it will be outward. Same is over here. When the bubble is to be taken down towards me, it will be anti-clockwise. When it is to be taken upward, away from me, it will be clockwise. So that decides. Again, for this position, the bubble comes at the center. This procedure is to be repeated till the bubble remains at the center for both the positions without touching the screw. That is the restriction. One stage will be there, one, second, third, fourth, maybe fifth time or maybe sixth time. The bubble will be at the center. Now you turn the telescope, the bubble will be at the center. But what you have to do is, say if it is this is the last position, then what I will do is, I will turn the telescope by 180 degrees. Whatever the telescope is, I will turn it by 180. Okay, and I will check whether the bubble remains at the center or not. Suppose it is not at the center. It has deviated towards this direction by say 3 divisions. That indicates there is a need of permanent adjustment for the bubble tube. Will you focus here? Now, see for this instrument what I told just now. If say there are 3 foot screws, I have selected a pair, I kept the bubble tube parallel to it. This inward, okay, or outward, the bubble comes at the center. The moment the bubble comes at the center, turn the telescope perpendicular to the position. Now only the third one, clockwise or anti-clockwise, till the bubble comes at the center. And as I said, this procedure is to be repeated till the bubble remains at the center for both the positions. So मान लेते it is here centered, then checked it is centered, then again checked it is centered. This is the third iteration. Now what I said, turn the telescope by 180 degrees and see whether the bubble is at the center. Usually it is. If not, then what is to be done? Then the measurement, or it will be measure the divisions by which it has been deviated. Say it is 3 divisions. Then half of the division is to be adjusted by the third foot screw only, and remaining half is to be done by the cap provided at the bubble tube. The screw is to be loosed or tightened. So what will happen is, say if this is the bubble tube, if the bubble is here, I want to lift it up. So what I will do is, I will loose the capstan screw. The moment it will turn like this, bubble will move up. Or if I want to take it, if it is over here, I want to take it down, I will tighten the capstan screw, the bubble will go down. So this is what the adjustment for bringing it. So what will happen? Now it was 3 divisions. Again you check by turning the telescope by 180. Earlier it was 3. Now it will reduce to 1.5. Again that 1.5 will be done by 75 with screw and 75 with capstan screw. And this procedure is repeated till the bubble comes at the center. And this is for the bubble. So it is called bubble tube adjustment, which ensures whether our vertical axis is perpendicular to the bubble axis. This is what that adjustment is. Whereas if you go for the second permanent adjustment to be checked, that is called adjustment for crosshair. wherein we are going to check whether our vertical axis is perpendicular to the horsehair. Now, we had a discussion, the diaphragm, which is over here, is of three combinations. One with one vertical, three horizontal, another is two verticals, three horizontal, and the last combination is cross wires with three horizontal. Have you noted one thing? If you see the middle one, it is the longest one with respect to which we have to take the reading. And I am talking about this horizontal crosshair. These two are at equal distance, used for different purposes in leveling. So we'll talk later on. The diaphragm usually we have is of this type. So I am discussing about whether my horizontal hair, which is over here, is perpendicular to my vertical axis. Vertical axis perpendicular to horizontal cross hair. How to check that? Usually what we are doing is, on the ground, you put the dumpy at such a position from any of the objects, say it can be a tree. Let us say a dumpy has been kept near about 50 meters distance, and all the temporary adjustments are carried out. So it is ready to, it is exactly in the horizontal plane. What I will do is, I will mark one horizontal dot on the branch of that tree or on that object. Let us say this is that dot. But while marking that dot, I will take one care. Let us assume this is my diaphragm, which is observed through the eyepiece. And when I will mark that dot, I will take care that the dot has been marked exactly at the center on the horizontal horsehair. And using the tangent screw provided over here, you can turn the telescope rightward or leftward and see whether that dot marked is exactly moving on the horsehair or not. If it is moving on the horsehair is exactly horizontal and the relationship is hold good. But suppose if that thing is happening like this, the telescope, rather crosshair, is little bit inclined. So when I go towards left, the dot will appear to be above the line. When I come to rights, the dot will appear to be down the line. That indicates there is a need to do the adjustment for this diaphragm. And what is to be done? Again, there are capstan screws provided at the diaphragm. Those are to be loosed. This is to be turned, and it is to be turned again by tangent screw. You check whether the bubble or that dot is moving on the line. So that is done with again the capstan screws by loosing. So this adjustment is called crosshair adjustment. Of course, this is the second permanent adjustment. Whereas the third one is, it is called adjustment for collimation line. What is collimation line? It is nothing but line of sight. It is a line joining center of eyepiece, object glass, diaphragm, object glass, and its imaginary continuation. So we are talking about this line and vertical line. What is the relationship? They must be perpendicular. So if you see here, the vertical axis must be perpendicular to collimation line. And how it is checked? Usually for this what we are doing is, it is also called as a two-peg test. Two-peg test. Because if it is to be tested, the pegs are driven into the ground at a convenient distance, not more than 100. So this is max 100 meters. Okay. Now put the staff on these pegs. Let us say the position is A position, this position as B position. Okay. And while taking the readings, we'll put our instrument called dumpy level very close to position A, say somewhere here, and we'll carry out all the temporary adjustments. Because of that, my line of sight will go horizontal, and whatever the readings I am observing, let us say it is a little bit down, so that it will give you exact the difference. So the B is a little bit down, so peg is given here, and you will have the higher stop reading. But this is the stop reading on B position, but from first setup. So let us say it is B1 reading. This is the reading taken on A stop from the first setup, so it is say A1 reading. And if I want to find out the difference between those reading, let us say it will be B1 minus A1 because B is more. So I am taking B1 minus A1. That is the true difference between them actually. Later on, what I will do is I will shift the instrument very close to B, and again I will take the readings on both these stops. Now from this second position of the instrument, whatever the reading I have taken at B, let us say this as B2 reading. Whatever the reading I have taken on A stop, let us say it is A2 reading because this is A2 and B2 readings taken on A and B from the second setup. And if I find out the difference between them, that should come out to be B2 minus A2. And if you see, if the line of collimation, horizontal line of sight, it has no error, maybe because of the collimation error, curvature of the earth, or refraction error. If it goes through straight, not down or up, then the difference between the first setup and second setup, which is called H1 and H2, will come out to be same. But if the difference doesn't come same, then usually what you are doing is we are calculating the H average as H1 plus H2 by 2, and जो भी value आ रहा है, that value we are using for all the other calculation purposes, and that is why this is called two peg test. So today we discuss about the bubble axis permanent adjustments, which are on bubble tube. Another one was for crosshair, and another one is for collimation line.